good to see you. Shall we do a little bit music? Let's do first movement. First movement, yeah? Let's do first movement. Can you hear me, or is it possible? because my voice is very sotto voce. So please tell me if you don't hear me. So I try to, even louder. You know, you will hate my voice, you know, because it gets so ugly. I try to do a little bit kind of more voice lessons with Luciano Pavarotti, but he didn't like my voice, so I changed to conducting then. So, well, you know, yeah, I know it's, for me this Brahms always something special. And, you know, not because, as you know, Austrians and Germans don't have the best relationship in the world. We hate each other, actually. But in a nice way, you know, so it's not that we are fighting, so, but the Germans makes jokes about Austrian and the Austrian makes jokes about the Germans. Don't ask which jokes are better. I believe ours are better. But, you know, I'm biased a little bit, so. But, you know, the thing is what I like so much in Brahms, an interesting thing, and we don't know this in our time. In the time when he composed this symphony, there was what they called Musikerstreit, Musikstreit, the fight about music. We cannot believe that, but it was true that Brahms represents the traditional conservative way of composing, interpreting, and the enemies were Wagner, Bruckner, and even if it's not German, but Berlioz, and this Hugo Wolf, and all these representatives. And later on Mahler, by the way, also. So you cannot believe what happened in Vienna in that time. When this symphony was first world premiered, you know, after every movement, the Wagnerians in the audience started to second movement the same. Yep. They started to make noise to announce their disagreement with that. Very unpolite, I thought. You know? And the same is the other way around. When there was a Bruckner symphony, then the Brahmsianer, you know, the Brahmsianian, they came then to the same point. It was a conflict. We don't believe, we have other problems today, you know, but would you mind if, you know, if somebody of a contemporary piece and people start to whisper and so like this? You would never do this today, isn't it? But it was enormous conflict, enormous. So I would like a little bit kind of, just to be a little bit aware of this, what Brahms represented it. And hand in hand, it goes a little bit with this, what we call German sound. Do you know what is German sound? No? Do you know German sound? Do you know German sound? Are you from Israel? No? Where from? From Brazil. Ah, I love the soccer. It's fantastic. It's the best soccer in the world. You're also from Brazil? Of course. Yeah. I apologize that you were defeated last time, you know, so by the Germans, by the way. But anyway, that's life, you know, don't worry. So it will come back. But, you know, everybody talks nowadays about German sound, and I would like to, you know, it is, for me, interesting, you know, when the Berlin Philharmonic had Furtwängler as their main conductor, so they called about German sound, and Mr. Karajan came a long time, talked about German sound. Then Simon came, Simon Rattle. Suddenly, they said, oh, he switches our sound. But when you ask them, what is the German sound? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. What is really the German sound? And that's actually a question which goes very much into this question of interpreting of the sound of Johannes Brahms. When I played it myself in Vienna Philharmonic with the in Musikverein, we always are proud of one thing. which is extremely important, in my opinion. Don't be aggressive. Always treat your instrument like you would treat your husband or your wife, except you have a problem. But always be like that. That was the main rule. So no open strings, for example, always warm sound and full sound without having muscles, yes, but not aggressive. What you would do might be some, nowadays it's required by Shostakovich and so on. So the German sound is something where you polish the sound. And I would like to do a little bit kind of some places. Give me bar 31 strings. Bar 31. Just play it one with me. When you start the phrase, you start here non-vibrato. When you end the phrase, you end non-vibrato. I think you're extremely consequent. Be consequent in that way that you start the vibrato, the phrase with vibrato, and end it. Then you will see it gets enormous warmness in the sound. Let me do this one time again. Just do it. Start with vibrato and develop it. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, but please do diminuendo. So like you would present the famous Viennese Sachertorte. If it's D1, you put eat it. Eat it. No. Very good. Let's do once again, simply. 1, 2, 3, go. Good. It's fine, good. It's very much better. Now I would like to ask you, Leishman, if you don't mind, when you start here, young king, and suddenly you stop in the crescendo before the climax, the vibrato. So what I hear is, you see? The main is fantastic. Could make a suggestion to you. If you start here with a tiny vibrato and go a big amplitude and keep it non-stop. Take an international flight, non-stop. Okay. Let's do once again. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. You see what great sound it gets. So round. This is the German sound. Nowadays we have forgotten the German sound, not even the Germans, but in Vienna we keep it still. So we make now jokes about the Germans, not about that. I do this phrase once again. And it would not be Brahms if he would not be extremely clever in composing. Which note do you think is the most interesting note in this phrase? What do you believe? The what? The F natural, yeah. And Chile, you have also the F natural. Because it's so unexpected, somehow, but not really, because he works a little bit with maggiore and minore, already in the first 2 bars. So if you know this, that this strange F natural does not belong really to that what we expect. Why don't you play this more? And please play it more than the other, fuller, with an amplitude of 200 kilometers in the. So, can you try this one time? Keep this. What you did. This was so fantastic. Simply. 1, 3. can't hear the F very good. Can you save a little younger? Go into, you put your hand in the goulash here. So really, that is wow. So, okay. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Go. Now chili beer. Fine. You see. Great. Just to understand what, when you do chamber music, you would do the same. Everything what is interesting, work out a little bit. Nothing is interested, don't work it out. Make it alive a little bit easier. Woodwinds, could we give, are you still alive? Yeah? Okay. So, can we do the first 2 bars? Come, give me this. The first 2 bars. All winds. Good. It's very simple, isn't it? 2 bars, but it is the key for the whole symphony, actually. And we have to know also F major. What is F major? What kind of tradition does F major has? You know it probably, isn't it? Clarinet? Yeah? What tradition do F major has? What? You play so softly like me, yeah? No? You want every key has a little bit, nowadays not, because we regard we are Democrats, we regard everything equal. But in earlier time, not. 200 years ago, C major was the triumph. F major is something with nature. And so you hear a lot of pieces which, if in F major, has to do with nature, with nature. For example, the Frühlingsstimmen, Frühlingssonate by Beethoven is in F major. Frühlingsstimmenwalzer by Johann Strauss in F major. So it has something to do with nature. So make it sure. But the second bar, not, isn't it? Is something cloudy a little bit. And I was always asking myself, and everybody of you doing that, he writes forte, and the second bar he writes again forte. Why? Can you tell me why?
Because it's supposed to be different sound?
Yes, but because it's composed like that, Does he need to write forte because it's composed like that? Not really. But he wanted to emphasize, we go a journey now. Don't keep back. Increase the level of the crescendo, so to say, the level of intensity. That's one of the things. The second reason why he did it, because the tradition in that time, coming from the Baroque and the classic music, all long notes have always a diminuendo. And you realized sometimes Beethoven, he writes tenuto, but he doesn't want to have a diminuendo. So he's still the tradition in a time when he composed this. So there are 2 reasons why he wrote it. For me personally, the first is the main reason. So what I would like to ask you, when you start the first accord, don't start with accent. Go in with enormous beauty. Just be in the nature and enjoy the power of the light and the colors and so on. But go to the next bar with intensity, like a crescendo, and keep it on to the last movement. It's like a composed crescendo. Let me try this. Can you do the second bar a little bit more open the sound? Make it freer the sound. It is not narrow. So if you cannot go very maximum on to the crescendo, then please reduce in the beginning a little bit and save it, because I need to introduce this passionato theme. Okay? Let's do once again. Make sure that you really long and the thing that is on the time, but like you go on the banana. Good. Wow. So it must not go. Okay. Let's do one again. 1, 2, 3. Fine. Good. Now last time, when you listen on the end of the first bar, you hear you hear a little bit kind of a diminuendo. So no. Regard is like a legato. Otherwise, you see? So go in like one line. Last time, please. 1, 2, 3. Fine. Now I do last time. I give you a little bit time before from second to the third beat. Third bar, excuse me. Yep. I give you a little bit, I stretch it a little bit. So you can go to the maximum to the downbeat, to spread out. This means the intensity. Okay? Last time, please. I promise it will be the last time. Exactly, and then it gets free. Okay, fine. Can we do it all together? The third bar. I promised you this last time, so let's do the third bar, otherwise I break the... third bar, Third bar. 1, 2, 3. This once again might be, if you don't mind, first and second violin. Let me play this, the third bar. Let's play this appassionato. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Now let's keep in the German sound. What I mean, like divan. So don't make the divan. It's very important to get divan. It's divan. So it needs one line. Normally, I will not change the bow, but if you do try one, they always do a little bit kind of so that it gives the sound more space. Can you try this? Don't change it, don't write it down, just remember. 1, 2, 3, and... So what do you think? If I don't mind, I'm sorry that a little bit detailed, but I want you just to understand how you would do. When you do divan, gankadi, dankanki, so we have segment. Now let's do a boy part. Maybe it's divan, divan. So I have one line. Otherwise we have divan, dinka. So that means please save the bow for the first note. It is not. You understand? When it's divan, the second note has no chance. But if you do divan, you see. Okay, let's do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and... Okay. Let's do one again. Please. No presto, no Ferrari on this. Keep it safe. 1, 2, 3, and... Good. So, I ask you your question because I think it's better because my English is not so good. So, dum, ba, bum. How would you do it? Dum, ba, bum. Is that an upbeat or not? Dim, ba, bum. Is it an upbeat? You're from Korea, isn't it?
No.
Oh, sorry. From Brazil? No. Where are you from? Japan? China? Okay. So, would you say it's an upbeat? Yang kadam. Is it? Or not, do you think? It's not? What is it if it's not an upbeat? Called would you say dam ba bam or dam ba bam? What would you do? I mean, if you would play solistic, what would you do? Di bam dam ba bim or di bam bim ba bim. Can we vote? Who is for the first version? Second? Okay. I'm safe now. Okay. Yeah. So you know what happens here, and that's the reason why I do upper. Yeah. So give dam ba bam. So if you do give a little bit dam ka di, you see. If you do accents, then you have again, even if you do this intensity, you have again a block thema, which we should not have. Okay. Let me do once again. But first attack round, no accent. Okay. One dun dun dun. So very good. Don't forget, there's bim bam bim bam. Second note must be a little bit longer in vibrato. Now, when you do this, di gang gang ba da bing gang ki yang gang ka da. Now these two notes. Make it a little bit kind of dolce, and go on. To create something, you have to go back. To build a house, you have to make a backup, you know. So, otherwise, you cannot build a house. Okay. Can we do last time? Okay, please. Everybody in the same place. 1, 2, 3. Very good. You see, it comes the sound. The E is a little bit bright. Be careful. Use the vibrato. Now, let's do once again. Excuse me. Before we go on, might be violas and celli. Give me this also with me here. Third part. 1, 2, 3, and 2. Yeah, it's composed like that, you know. So don't worry. It's so to understand the people, these violas, is it possible? You be a tenuto, but be a little bit kind of more attack. Otherwise, it sounds like we are not together, you know. Which, okay, so gong, gong, gong. Make it a little bit kind of more pesante. Okay, please. 1, 2, 3, and Okay, good. You see, it comes. Now, when we do it once again, think with this. This always, you feel, it's a little bit kind of like on the sea, a wave. So we can do a little bit, why not taking this with it? So, and it's a little bit kind of, don't make it, no machine. Would be fantastic. Chili, please, can you do, play it one time with me? Just 1, 2, 3, Exactly. Is it possible that you can take more bow? And more tenuto. I don't want to go so like you put butter on the bread. You don't have to go. You don't never do this. Okay. 1, 2, 3. More bow. Fantastic. And violist, you're the only one who disturbs the you know, your gong. You must be more accent, otherwise, okay? Okay, let's do everybody together now, please. Beginning. Chili bassi, be careful, gong, the first pizzicato. So make it a little bit, what, you know what is written here in the clarinet? It's written here mezza voce. What means mezza voce? Wait, what? Middle voice? Yes, yes. In musical terms, mezza is always middle, yeah. So, but mezza would say damped, with a damped voice. So if you play the first pizzicato, like John Wayne and the Western, bang, bang, then he probably has the full voice, yeah? A little bit surprised. Can you play this pizzicato band? Come, Chili bassi, yeah? 1, 2, 3, Exactly. Very good. I love the way you do it because it's so gong. Very nice. And the second word is written here is grazioso. So that's it. Can we do one time? Violas, celli, bassi, and flute. Give me this one. 36. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Fine, good. You see, I find this so fantastic. Wonky gong, wonky gong, wonky gong. So if it's possible, violas, give a little bit kind of early back, so that we hear the entrance of the flute. Okay. Very gentle but more diminuendo. Okay, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay, do one again. Okay? It's much too strong. Huh? So dolce speed. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Okay. Now, clarinet, when I say mezza voce, can you play so, I think you take it already down, which is, the dynamic is fantastic. Keep it like that. But play always like you hear this, because this is the drive. This is the motor behind this. So it's like a picture, when you see the picture, the main thing on a little bit covered, just a little bit, like a fog between them. So make it a sound a little bit kind of dolcissimo. So not presented, okay? Let me do this again. 36, 1, 2, 3. In the German sound, after end, you have, let us see. Unfortunately, I don't agree with that all the time, but here in 4 after C, they slow down so, it's a tradition to slow down so much. I don't like that, but what I like is the sound. Because they do it to produce the sound. So, every chromatic in the classic music has something to do with pains, with with the tears, and so every time when you have something, Brahms knew that very clearly. So please give a little bit time, but not too much, but be in the intensity of the espressivo. Let me do this directly, please. Just to get this here. 4 after C. 1, 2, and 2. Fine. It's very good. Now please. I need these strange notes. The G natural. You must give much more. Okay. Is it what I hear? What do you think what I demonstrate now? We need to have a little bit patience. So, if it goes too quick, it sounds a little bit kind of funny. So taste a little bit this doloroso sound. Okay, last time please. And 1. Give a little bit time, then it's a little bit kind of it. Good. Woodwinds, come on. Let me do this letter C once again with you. 1, 2, go. Is it possible that the young king, this is a hemiolum in the young king, ting, ting, it's the last note a little bit, like a question, ding, the accord is already painful, isn't it? Young, so only do a little bit kind of tender. Is it possible? You say, make a little bit kind of, a little bit kind of gamble. You are in pastorale, third movement of Beethoven. Yeah, you are already there a little bit. Okay, let it. 1, 2, 3. So do a little bit, but young, place it a little bit later, and definitely softer. Do the third part after C, third after C. And can we be softer? Young. Be already sotto voce. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4. No, 3 after C. Yeah. 3 after C. 1 and. Exactly. So the last note, young, must be a little. We do this once again. Play it once again. The whole letter C. Let me hear once. I just need to. I conduct a little bit differently now. Yeah. 1, 2, and. Okay. Good. Is it possible? You see, 2 things, but I really like it. If there's one young gunky, if you do an accent, young gunky, so young gun dolce. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, young gun di ra 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 di. You can play di ra ra di ra ra di. So it should not be like it. It's a little bit di ra ra di ra ra di. So keep the first 8 notes in the phrase and then relax a little bit. Just play it one time with me, your bow. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. And yes. Are you playing oboe? Oh, yes. And 1. So I would prefer young and 1. ding dong ding. So be in the phrase. Yang gang dee da 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 dee dee da da. You see, I always like these mixing, melting things. Otherwise, yang gang dee da 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 dee dee, yang gang dee da 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 dee. It's so simple, and it's good. Why not? But yang gang dee da 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 dee. It's a little bit more Viennese. Okay? Can you do all winds, please, again? Let us see. Light, leggero, staccato. 1, 2, 3, 2. Exactly, fantastic. Good, very good. Good, so, timpani, gonna ask you, can you play the very first beginning for me? Can you play it one time? The first beginning. Go. Yeah. Can you play appassionato? And yes. Make the darkest sound as you can, and like like a thunder. Yeah? Can you do a little bit quicker tremolo? One go go. But the first entrance must be a little bit kind of more explosive. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, go. Yes, not more than that. Let me check this, just the first bars, just to get this once again. Yeah? Let me do a little bit in this place. All winds, letter G. Come, play this one then with me. Letter Gustav, G. 1, 2, 3, and go. Good. Make sure horn. When the D, wa, bim, so D. Go already maximum back. So let's a little bit early. That gets magic. And means let me do warm. Help the horn just to get the high note in the most dolcissimo. Okay? 1, 2, 3, okay. Oh, I give you more time. I give you much more time. Good. 1, 2, 3, okay. Fine, good. And make sure D, wa, so D. Okay. Make it like moltissimo legato in this. Would be great. We come to that, so that you get this magic moment. Good. First, second viola cello. Can we do a letter G once again? So letter G. 1, 2, 3, and go. Now, gentlemen, I this time need to ask you, because when we talk about the German sound, it is also something that have to do with the Deutsche Wald, the wood. So Weber, Karl Maria von Weber talks always about that. Freischütz, the Wald, the wood is the most important. And Brahms himself, and especially his father, was playing not only piano but also horn. So he had a lot of the horn trio and all these things. Has something like Richard Strauss. So he uses the horn, Wald horn. By the way, he was also the founder. You probably know that horn. The founder of the Viennese Waldhorn Quartet. Do you know them? You know the Woodhorn, Waldhorn? You know the Waldhorn Quartet? It goes back to 1883. Can you imagine? It's enormous what still exists. I mean, the members changed. But you know, he was the founder. He was a member of this association, and for me, Waldhorn was so important. Still important. The F horn, as you know, in Vienna they play all the things in F horn. So the sound of the F horn, this darkness and smoothness, is that what we want to create in this place. It's talking about a fairy tale in the wood. What you do here, this time it has to be extremely less accents. Like this. It must be played this. Like a small wind, you hear the air conditioning. It's much too loud. It's much too accented. Can you play this one then, please? So, don't worry, it's not important that we are together. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, good. Vibrato. Fine. Exactly. Great. And then you go back a little bit with molto diminuendo, so and avoid every attack on the bowings. Go. So like this with vibrato. Let me do this together. Then you will see you get a fantastic round support for this dream. It's a dream. Okay. G. Letter G. 1, 2, 3. Fine, great. Okay, good. Strings. The reason why Johannes Brahms have not written any dynamic for you in the climax, he wants you to listen. The horn, and then the oboe. So please never overplay the oboe. You realized she had very much to work to come out. So let her play a little bit more. So vibrato is fine. Now strings in bassoon, 1-2 bars before G. This is so to say a hemiol bar. So 3, not hemiol, but in 3. Everything has point. But the more you go crescendo, please the longer do it. We do like to do this one time, please 2 bars before G with bassoon and strings. Sorry. It's 3 bars. 3 bars. Yeah? Sorry, 3 bars before G. 1, 2, 3. Go. So you do longer, so we spread out. As you know, Brahms said, Clara Schumann said one time, oh, she's such a wonderful man, you know. I mean, you look on the pictures, it's great. How he looked stylistically and so far away from what I do have, you know. It's very thin, you know, so and so. But the more he came to Vienna, the more Wiener Schnitzel he had eaten. In the end, he had a beer, he covered with a beer much more than you have this, you know, so it's really weird. And his stomach was so. So, and we call this always the Wiener Schnitzel sound, the Brahms sound, okay? And gang, ging, gang. So start Brahms with 20 years old and start with and end with 60 years old. So spread out. Let me do this once again. And with warmness. 1, 2, 3, go. Keep it. Okay. Good. So you see, please don't stop. I want to have this connection here. Give a lot of time. Oh. Is it true that you have 1 bar before G, bassoon and clarinetti? You have crescendo and decrescendo? It's very important to know why. Because they have only diminuendo, and you come out of this. Just to know that you don't go with them. It's very important. Can we do last time? Same place? 3 bars before G. 1, 2, 3. Quickly begin. Okay, softer. Might be one small thing I do before once again. Could you play after E? It's bar 81 with bassoon and strings. 81. the ladies directly. 81. 1, 2, 3. Go, go. Okay, let's do once again. Come, just that we are good together. Good. 1, 2, 3. Go. What I miss a little bit, you play this very correct, it's fantastic. But is it possible, viola celli, when you play this, how he composed it? You know how he composed it? Play it one time, you will find it out. Good? Let me do. 1, 2, 3, go. You see? Isn't it great? In a 2 bars, he has suddenly a 3 bar. So it's a little bit a feeling of hemioli. Okay? So what I would do, give a very to demonstrate that a little. Can you play this much stronger? Okay? Let me do this together. Also bassuni, by the way, and bassi. You gonki, donki, always accent, and that you have a 3 bars, and not a yakoki, gonki. Okay? Let me do. 1, 2, 3. Oh, fantastic! Great. Just a small detail, but might be. Let me do the end very quickly, please. From 181, please. 181. One, two, three, and. Just very quickly, in this place, give me this woodwinds and all trombone, trumpet, corny. 4 bars before L. Let me do this once again. Yeah? 4 bars before Lodovico. 1, 2, 3. So, what is for you, the most interesting in this 4 bars phrase? The most interesting accord? Trombone, what do you think? 3rd bar? Yeah, a little bit, yes. I have another idea. Play it one time again, you will find it out. 2nd bar? Somebody for 1st bar? No. Listen one time again. Listen one again. Bassi, why don't you play with them? Okay? 1, 2, 3. Do you have another idea now? When you listen? Okay. You were right with the third bar. But one bar, the fourth bar, on the second beat, this is the one we go for. You wanted to say that, I felt that, isn't it? Yeah? But better keep quiet before I be wrong. Huh? So I would that too also. So what I would like to ask you, in this place, one bar before L, to prepare, even if it's not written, an accent, but write down accent, or don't write because I don't want to change anything, but one bar before L, from the first note to the second note, we need to do crescendo and place this like an accent. Then you will see this fantastic effect, because it goes to a new structure. Second thing, please. We are not yet together. When do we end the note? Some are doing a little bit diminuendo, some are doing stopping a little bit earlier. Could I suggest that you do dee, dee, to do a little bit kind of gap, very small, but keep it tenuto. Okay? Let me do, please. And you lead bassi. Fight against them. Have no chance, I know that, but 1, 2, 3, and go. So first note, play one bar before L, and play here crescendo, da, we, you must go this. One bar before L, 1, 2, 3, and go. Okay, much more crescendo, 3 times more. And exactly, you see, then it gets the right thing.